Looking for a partner in mortgage lending? You're going to want to talk to Marc. Joining me today is Marc Purvis from Guaranteed Rate Affinity. He's a vice president of mortgage lending there. Hi, Marc.
Hey, Rick. Great day to you.
Hey, thanks for being on. So, where were you born?
I was born in Indiana.
So you grew up there, or you were just born there?
Yeah, I did. I grew up and all the way through high school and then college as well. Went to Indiana University in Bloomington.
And what'd you major in at the university?
Oh, my major was in public policy and
Okay.
Also did minor in psychology.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then after college, where'd you live?
Just not too far. Went up the road to Chicago and spent a good 15, 16 years up there between the city and also out into the suburbs around Glen Ellen, Illinois.
Were you doing mortgages then, or just kind of figuring out what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, figuring out what I wanted to do for sure. That was the first couple of years there in Chicago, and then was able to get into mortgage finance just by kind of virtue of a friend, who was already in the business in 2004.
Okay.
And, really, I haven't looked back since. It's really been a really, really good ride so far.
Wow, so you survived the whole 08 issue that we all went through with the meltdown.
Yeah, right. I mean, fortunately, I didn't do that meltdown piece, but the market, we don't have much control over what the market does. So at the end of the day, it really can be, about the client and the experience. So I was really kind of focused there just to, continue to help people and keep them moving forward towards their dream of home ownership.
Interesting. So when did you get to Colorado?
Colorado came not that long ago, just around, I don't know, the virus or something was happening. And
Okay.
I thought, hey, what a great time to pick up and try to go west on the other side of the Mississippi. So that was just in 2020 I came over and I've been in Colorado since. It's been a terrific move so far.
Were you at Guaranteed Rate before that or after that?
Yes. So you mentioned that whole thing about 2008. That's when I got to Guaranteed Rate.
Okay.
And spent, some great years, working in Chicago, and then it was in leadership actually for the company for about 5 years. And when the Affinity partnership came together, that's actually when I came over and was in production, and then built up some production in the Chicagoland market, and decided that this was going to be a good time and a good move to expand my business into Colorado.
And what benefit do you see Guaranteed Rate having, and you in particular, with the agents there at Coldwell Banker?
That's a great question. I really think that the benefit's going to come down to number one, availability. I'm just the kind of person who's going to be able to say, what's the best way to reach you? For me, make sure you save my name and number in your phone. Text me, call me, whatever works. A lot of times there's things going on over the weekend too. This is real estate, right? So You want to be able to have somebody who can be available for that. And then I think from the company perspective, it's just programs. I just had a client this week, very complex property actually, a lot of moving parts with land and quite a bit of unique features on the subject on the home that they're purchasing. And fortunately, we have dozens of different options, and we were really able to narrow it down to find the best possible loan, the best fit for the client, and also the best price. So I think that that's a lot of the great things that the company has to offer.
So they're getting great service without paying more, or or sometimes less.
Yes. Well, service is one of those things that you can't put a price tag on it. I will be the first to say that price is very important. So if you can actually get the best of both with terrific service and price, is going to be unbeatable in the market. I mean, that's why a lot of agent partners continue to come back with me.
So we have a favorite part of my doing these interviews, and I call it actually 15 favorites, and these are favorite things that you like to do. So if you're game for it, let's go through a few of them if that works for you.
Sounds good. Make sure you find the best ones on there list there, Rick.
All right, well, let's start with your favorite food.
Favorite food? I'm gonna have to say it's pizza.
Pizza. All right. And how about favorite pastime? Thing you like to do other than work, if you get any time off?
Oh yeah, right. I mean, it's the mortgage business, so time off is just one of those things where as long as I have an internet connection, have a phone, then maybe we'll figure it out. I can pull over to the side of the road. It's really just being, with my family. I think, that's really great time, and it's precious time. So the more I can try to find some balance in that, and doing things, outdoors and with the family, and trying to just have a little bit of balance, like that's what I really like to do.
So you're married, have kids?
I do, yeah. So I'm lucky to have, two healthy kids, and have a much better half than me. So, everyone's kind of here on the bus to Colorado, which is wonderful too.
Fun.
Yeah. So we're having a great time with everything.
Awesome. Okay, how about your favorite band or piece of music?
Oh man. I mean, I'm kind of a mutt when it comes to favorite band and piece of music. I mean, I like everything, quite frankly. But there's something about music just in general that is awesome. It's soothing, and whether it's in the background or whether it's live music, hopefully we can, be back to doing more of that at some point.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. So I'm just really kind of open-minded, honestly, to favorite types of music.
So you'll do jazz to rock to classical, huh? Anything?
Well, I will. Hey, I mean, if it was George Gershwin, and if it was ZZ Top, and if it was I don't even know, Rihanna. I don't know who's popular these days, but
yeah,
I have to be a bit of a chameleon when it comes to music. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
How about favorite place to visit in Colorado?
Oh my goodness. Favorite place to visit. I don't believe I've even seen too much of where I need to go visit in Colorado. I've barely made it off of I-70, so I think that there's a lot of great places, but I think if there's, some bluebird skies, and there's some stars and maybe some trees, could be aspens or some, pine trees. I don't know. That's great.
Yeah. Well, you have lots of places
there's like a lot of Colorado to look into.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I talked to a friend over the weekend, and that friend just had mentioned, well, you could actually go, to a different place every weekend, for the next 5 years and never go to the same place. It's like, well, that's pretty exciting, and it's a wonderful place to be here.
Exactly. Well, what's your favorite place to visit in the world?
Oh gosh, I really do like Hawaii. I mean, it's just wonderful because it's in our country. I mean, we're in the best country in the world, so that's great. But then you get the Polynesian vibe, and you get those trade winds, and I don't know. I really feel that Hawaii is a wonderful place, and I haven't been to all the islands, but I'll tell you that to be able to go to the Big Island or go to Maui, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Maui's awesome. How about do you have a favorite comedian or comic?
Gosh, comedian or comic. I mean, it's again one of those things where there could be some folks from back in the day that are very just good at their craft, and trying to take bites and pieces, and there's people that are really modern and have their own sort of way of doing things. I'm not the kind of person that's really gonna kind of back myself into a corner either. I think I'm just gonna say I'm open-minded, to good laughs. I mean, laughs, one of those, that's a great thing, to kind of, I think, help us stay around longer, as we're here in this planet, is to just laugh. Yep. So, and my best comedian sometimes could be my better half, could be my wife. So, there's a lot of different people out there.
And what do you have a favorite restaurant? It could be here or even back in Chicago. This is kind of a tip.
Man, well, I mean, that's Rick. Really, come on, make the questions fair next time. But I would say Latache, which was a terrific restaurant back in Chicago. I don't know if it's still around, but that was a wonderful French restaurant. And if I could find a good one in Colorado, I think there's actually a handful. I'm all in.
Well, you've been here since COVID, so you haven't had a lot of chance to check out the Colorado restaurants, unfortunately.
Well, thank you. But what I also would say is I also just recently was able to get my grill out of storage, so that's amazing. Yeah. So there's so much to look forward to as far as the restaurant scene, but then, hey, I've been able to kind of figure it out on my own too by Now I got my grill and I can do some stuff outside. This is really amazing.
Exactly. How about your favorite time of the year? Are you springtime, fall? What kind of?
I mean, in the Midwest, I mean, really, the fall was always special. I just loved days would be in the 70s or 80s and could be crisp at night. Now here in Colorado, it seems like it could be sort of 90 degrees in the day and crisp at night. Yeah. So, hey, I like all seasons. And then just the fact you can, and don't tell anyone about this, but my gosh, you can have snow in Colorado and all of a sudden there's 12 inches on the ground. And then by 1 o'clock tomorrow, it's all like melted. It's amazing. So whether it's this season or that, I think I really do enjoy them all, but I mean, I think growing up definitely, like the fall. Plus my birthday's in the fall, so what the heck,
Plus it kind of cools down a little bit in Chicago and a little less humid, I'm guessing, in the Midwest.
Oh boy. But you know what? To go take a trip or take a vacation to some humidity every once in a while, that's okay.
Exactly.
But day to day, just kind of slather on the SPF 50. You know what I mean?
Fall's great. How about you? Do you have a favorite movie? Come on, you got to have a favorite movie. Something you watch over and over.
I mean, watching over and over. I mean, remember, I'm in the mortgage business, so to be able to watch a movie would mean that I could actually string together 90 minutes or an hour and 20. Oh yeah, the kids too. I mean, I've really become an aficionado of Disney. I mean, and that wasn't really by choice. Yeah. But what I'll say is, I think if it's going to be some sort of action packed, or if it's going to be something that has a bit of a point to it, a little deeper, I'm always down. So any recommendations out there, if I can just kind of load them up onto a list, and then maybe that'll be something on the bucket someday, is I can have a lazy day and watch 5 movies in a row. But I'm not looking into that anytime soon. But hey, maybe there's going to be a long airplane flight to Hawaii someday, and I can go catch a flight and maybe get some movies that you never know.
You got 6 hours there, and
I know.
You said you love pizza, so tell me, are you a person that holds it with your hands or use a knife and fork to eat your pizza?
Well, I think your hands are meant, to get a little dirty. So, yes, I would use my hands. Thin crust, actually. Yeah. I mean, coming from Chicago, you hear about deep dish and this sort of thing. But it's just something about not having too much of a carb overload and then being able to wake up tomorrow morning without a food coma. That's a good thing. So, just enjoy to have a nice thin crust and, not too much on it. I'm not an onion fan, nothing against them. just can't do them. Onion powder's fine. But hey, to have it, nice evening out, and then, really just kind of enjoy the, rest of the evening there. And then you had something nice to eat. That's okay. Yeah. Good thing. Maybe second place, probably didn't ask me, but salad is always nice to pair there, with pizza.
Awesome. What's your favorite smell?
Favorite smell? I mean, I'll be honest, and this really has stuck with me since I was very small. First come out to Colorado, and it's that wood burning fireplace. Okay. It's just poignant. In fact, I can smell it right now. I don't have one here with me, but it's just that, and that was reminiscent of my childhood. And great memories coming out here with family and my Nana and Gramps, and it just always resonates. I love that smell.
Kind of a campfire smell.
Maybe the campfire smell, but if you get around, my son's just jumped into Boy Scouts, and you get a bunch of 12 to 16-year-olds around a campfire. There's going to be other smells there. That's true. So. I'm going to stick with that.
The way just
original,
burning,
wood burning fireplace.
Okay,
nice try, Rick.
Okay, how about childhood memory? Your favorite childhood memory?
Oh my gosh, I mean, it's really probably involving traveling. So family trips. The car trips that were even coming from Indiana. 20 hours across. What are those states called? Like Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, sometimes. Yeah. And then, huge snowstorms, and still being able to get it, maybe a day or two later, but still being able to get to Colorado, for example, traveling with, my grandparents when I was younger. Really that's something I really enjoy doing, is to just get a, different, bit of scenery, different vantage point, and then ultimately, the diversity and different cultures and things like that. Really enjoy that. Probably why I spent so much time, honestly, around Chicago. There's so much just wonderful, different, there's neighborhoods and things like that. But when you go to a new place, a new location, even here in Denver, there's just a lot of variety. To me, it's the spice of life, honestly. But that's what I remember growing up, is just a lot of nice family vacations and being together with each other was really, really just a ton of fun.
Well, you have a wife, you have kids, so I'm going to exclude them unless you really want to say that's your favorite adult memory. Maybe you have something else other than your wedding or your birth of your children, but maybe those are it. I'm not going to totally exclude it, but what are you thinking?
I mean, growing up, there's always those moments, right? I mean, getting married, and then both kids are born, making a move, and actually moving from Chicago into the suburbs. That was actually kind of interesting, because it's just like, okay, well, we did it, right? And then moving from the Midwest out west here, we'll never forget it. And so there's just these milestones throughout life. It's interesting because it kind of goes well into mortgage finance, believe it or not.
Right.
There's stepping stones. There's points along the way. I might have a client, and that client is just sort of dipping their toe in the water, right? And I'm really happy because there's a client now that I've been working with for 3 years, and they were really able to take some steps over that long of a period of time to realize dream ownership. And I don't really believe there's ever a limit on when someone could do that or how many times they could do that. So these milestones that I've had in my own life, I think really kind of translate well when we're looking into just working with clients and helping them with their dream of ownership. Exactly.
So do you have a favorite person, living or dead?
Favorite person, living or dead? Golly, boy, these are just interesting questions. Because I'll tell you, like, there's a lot to be taken from history books, and there's a lot to be taken from what's going on right now in current events. I just try to stay focused a little bit more on how I can impact people. And I know that there's going to be some one-liners, and there's going to be some quotes and things like that I could probably end up just throwing out there and reciting that might be tied back to one particular person or group. But
sure,
alive or dead, it's like, well, there's a lot to learn from kind of where we came. And that's why I was actually public policy in college, is because there's so much like kind of in the past that like impacts us obviously today, but then things are changing, right? By the day, by the moment. So you have to be nimble and have to be open to it. So if you have any good one-liners from somebody who just passed away, I mean, Rick, I'm all ears. But then again, we have a lot of good things in the current too, to
sure,
really help embrace and I think do some great things.
How about favorite part of what you do?
Favorite part of what I do? It's having a conversation. Honestly, I mean, and I appreciate your approach on this whole thing, Rick, because that's really the type of approach that I like to have with my clients. I could talk a lot, but then again, I'm lucky to have these two ears right here. So when you have those, that's actually more, I think, to me, of my job is to listen in the conversation and really to try to find out what is it that makes that client tick, why are they doing what they're doing right now? And that's the exciting part I have with my job, is to really just listen, have a conversation, and then help them have some different milestones along their journey of home ownership. Of course, sometimes it could be the client's trying to put the kids into college. Maybe there's a downsizing situation. We're trying to get the house kind of up to market. So I find that between having a conversation, using my two ears, I like to think that there's something in between the two ears too. But hey, I'm not afraid, for someone to say, you know what, Marc, this is actually what I'm talking about, right? Because it's all about trying to understand, then get on the same wavelength, and then put a great plan of action together for the client.
Well, terrific. If somebody's interested in getting a hold of you, is the number on the screen the best way to do it?
I say so. I mean, it's a 312 number, so anybody who's been through Chicago before knows that number, at least that prefix, I should say. But text, call me, email, whatever it might be.
Okay.
But, probably just, a text or phone call is going to, get the fastest response.
Well, thanks for your time today. And if you have more questions for Marc, give me a call, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right, Rick. Hey, thanks a lot for your time.
For more real estate news, go to retoday.com.